Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I have to discuss the hot topic of Tyler Perry and what he's saying, the message he's trying to get out. And I want to tell you just because he is a billionaire, just because he's a billionaire, even if he's self made, don't mean he's right on everything. I have a lived experience of what he said is exactly the wrong thing to tell black women. And I know he's in the interview he did, he talked about all women, but the message was very much for black women. Okay? You can't cover what he really is trying to say. He's trying to really directly talk to black women. That's who interviewed him, and that's what he was talking about. So, I want to talk about my experience. Um, Even today, I've heard the news that this person I used to date, he has a mother who's in her 70s. He's a single man. And for many years, he did not have a job. Even when I was with him, dating him, I was asking him, what forms of income did he have? And because I knew him from many, many years, like 20 years, he still could not produce a good job. But he was so nice, at the time. Me being young, I dated him. But let me tell you how that went. It meant that I assumed the responsibility of the hardships in the relationship. So anything that come up, because I was the one who could afford the bills, I could afford the AAA membership when we went out of town in our car. When you are poor, you grow up poor, you don't have a Mercedes Benz. You don't have the top of the line cars. You have a Hootie, okay? Let's be honest. You're driving a car that will get you from point A to point B. But when you want to go out of town, because I've always been a person of limited means, but I've always took chances to go and travel. When we went out of town, it was all on me. Even though I was the woman, I felt like I had to assume the manly position while although he was worried that we broke down, I was expecting him to at least know how to change the tire. So I felt comfortable going, and I knew that I had my money together. Now, what I didn't know fully at that time was that he didn't have his money together, but he wanted to go enjoy the same trip. I worked hard. I had a full-time job. I even went to college. Okay, I was a respiratory therapist making really good money. And I think at that time I was just a RT student. So I worked under other respiratory therapists in training in the hospital, which was still good money. But what he was doing was cutting grass for a living. I thought there's honor in that because that's like being an entrepreneur. But when I think about it, I should have demanded a lot more because I wanted to do a lot more in my life. I want to travel. I want to see things. And if you want a fulfilling relationship, it's not enough to have a man who can only afford to pay a light bill and nothing else. Do you know how many other bills on top of the normal bills there are? We got to think about it and put it into context. Not only is there, if you have a house, if you want your own privacy, you want to feel like a homeowner and live the hashtag American dream, you will get a mortgage. You will get a yard of your own. You'll buy things to accessorize the house that makes you feel like you are in charge. You are cooking your family a meal. You're going to buy a barbecue grill. You might even get it top notch, updated. You might decorate your backyard. You might do a lot of these simple things that requires what? Money. It requires money to do all these things, to enjoy life. But before you can enjoy life sitting on the back porch, chilling with your friends and your homeboys and your homegirls, your lights got to be working. The house got to be nice. The yard has to be cut and trimmed. And unless you're not hiring someone to do that job, you got to do that job. And for my situation, he could at least take care of a yard. But they don't get paid a lot. Everybody knows doing lawn care is labor. It's hard labor for men. And even some women who try to have those kind of businesses, it's a lot that goes into it. Well, he didn't have a full service business, so he didn't have anyone working side by side with him cutting grass. He was the only one. So just imagine if he cut 3 yards max, he was tired. That's all he brought in. So after a year or two of playing with him, I got really tired. I got really kind of tired of playing games, and he wasn't exclusive with me. So it's like he didn't take me seriously because I was just his little young friend from like a family friend, But being the opposite sex, I was attractive, and he wanted to date me. But I think I intimidated him, but he wasn't the ideal person. So I'm gonna fast forward and tell you what happened to me this morning. I got a phone call from a source, and they know him, and they know me and him used to date, and they told me that his mother is 75 years old, almost 80. In the past year, this woman had to get a job, and he lives with his mother right now. He lives with her. He never thought to go out and get him a job. He has never made initiative to better himself. He gave up on his dream of lawn mowing, although he still cuts his mother's grass. That's great. But you got your mother, 75 years old, who's working. You are living with your mother, and she's working her butt to the bone. And she has recently, from my source, has applied for a short-term loan to try to make ends meet. Now, we're in a recession. I don't care what no one says. The writing is on the wall. So just because Tyler Perry said to work with a man these days don't mean it's the right thing to do. The Times don't call for that. The Times is reading that men are wanting to be taken care of. And I'm not talking about the traditional way. See, the traditional way was they wanted you to take care of the house, and they take care of you, take care of the family and the kids. As long as you can make him a little bit of a priority, a man back then was going to provide. That was back in the day. But also, men back then also had many women because they had the authority. So we have issues with patriarchy here. We have issues with men who just naturally want to take advantage of women, even if it's their older, elderly mother, aching mother, who believes to coddle their sons. This is an example. And had I been with this man today, he would be sitting in my house looking at me work myself to the bone. And that's just not going to happen. I decided many years ago after my husband passed, and I had a good husband. He was a black man. He was intelligent. He had beautiful work ethic. His ethic was wonderful. He got his degrees. He worked in the field that he got the degree in. He was intentional. And I like that. I like when a man can say what he's going to do and do it. I like that they don't play around. I'm single today because I have not found that kind of man. I have not. Only thing you see in the news is men wearing wigs, dresses. Gay rights is flourishing. And I'm not going to attack gay people because gay people have always existed and they've always had the right to do what they needed to do to have a fulfilling life. But they have always been shamed for being who they are. And I'm not going to do that. But I'm just saying the times do not call for men to be men as they should be. They still will not call them out to take account for what they're supposed to do, especially when it's in regards to a black woman, their black mothers. They will still accept the coddling. And if a black mother, let me just add, has a black daughter and black sons, the black daughters are going to come to the call, put whatever they have on the side to take care of their black mother. The son will still be coddled. The son will still be able to live his life fully and be selfish with his assets, selfish with his time. There's many, many men examples that I could give for that in the love and hip hop arena, where you see these famous mothers with their sons and they're coddling them and they're cheering on this bad behavior while they're breaking women's hearts, while they're being immature little kids and they're in their 30s and 40s and almost 50 years old. And you can say a lot about a man who's almost 50 and still rapping. He hasn't had no additional income. He hasn't tried to venture out into new arenas. We can read the writing on the wall. Black women are not idiots. And I think I'm very angry now at this point. Every time I get on this camera, I'm a little bit angry. I have the reputation around the mommy sector that I'm in. And I'm going to venture out of it eventually because I'm bigger than just a few topics about a few women who are going through the same things of settling with men or jumping on men or choosing to be pick-me's. They're going to get the same result from these black men that they invest in, or try to at least. Try to trust them, try to love them, instead of trying to just decenter the men, decenter them. Don't make them your priority. Don't make them the priority because they've never made you the priority. Even today, there's a lot of women who are mothers of daughters and sons. And if they get sick, they're going to call the daughter because they know black women have a nurturing spirit. We're naturally nurturing. We are reliable. We are intelligent. We know how to problem solve through anything. We can make a lot of money. We can make a whole lot of something out of nothing. And that's a fact. I see it over and over. Yeah, we might be tight budget right now, but we know how to still enjoy our life. Especially enjoy the life we have when we're single, because we have our money to ourselves. We have our autonomy. We have our peace of mind. And we have children. We're single mothers. Those two words together, single mothers. That's what builds strength. That's what builds character. And that's what makes us who we are. So, no, we don't need advice right now. We've lived a life, the experiences. We've given men chances. We've given our brothers chances to step up when mom and dad got sick. I can tell you many situations. I can give at least 5 examples right now, but I won't, because you who are listening know that you have examples too of men who will not step up. Does that make them an ultra villain? No, but it makes other cultures look at them like they're foreign aliens. Why can't you get it together? And the least of these people in the earth, the black woman, the one that has to face 2 very big obstacles: a gender role stereotype and racism. We have to live in a society, a country that honors beauty. The darker you are as a black woman, the harder your journey will be, the harder the dating world will look at you and scrutinize every little thing you do. And that's just the plain facts. That is just it. I've lived 47 years. Trust me when I tell you, it's a lived experience, and I know what I'm talking about. Just because Tyler Perry said it, don't mean he's right. Just because he said it. And I see why Monique found, I could not understand it. And, it's so sad because people counted her like she's crazy. But I bet in the background, behind the curtains, behind the cameras, people are so different from what their image is. That's why it's very careful to really look into something before you speak. I've done that before. And I've made my apologies. And I'm going to keep re-stepping if I make mistakes and hold myself accountable. If you are a Black woman who can hold yourself accountable in this world, and you know the mistakes you've made, yeah, I let a deadbeat in my house, and this is what happened. He's hit me. He's disrespected me in my house. He's brought in strangers in my house smoking weed. All he want to do is play PlayStations and video games. He don't want to help me clean. I got to pay every bill. Water, gas, mortgage, taxes on the house. If you don't have this all rolled up into the mortgage. Car insurance, car tax, gasoline for him to get around to where he want to have freedom. Because definitely he's not going to stay home 24 hours a day waiting on you. He's not going to stay home all day while you go to work. What you think he's doing? If you have one vehicle in that house, guess who's taking the vehicle? Him. That's who. And then you're left at work working like a little slave for his comfort. And then when he come pick you up, the gas tank's on E. Because you have only designated him to pay a light bill. Sometimes a light bill is $150 in some areas of the country. And you're not going to demand anything more. Let me tell you something. If you make someone comfortable on the couch, and it's the only thing you have in the house to sleep on, that couch becomes your go-to. Even if you buy beds, you can buy beds, 3-4 beds after that couch is put in that house, and you slept on that couch for 4 years straight. Then you start buying, you won the lottery, and you buy beds for each room that you have. You're going to still find that couch your way back to that couch. So let's say this man that you are required just to pay the light bill for, he gets a job. He starts making good money. Everything's gravy. He might take you out. But he might also do this. He might also find other people to treat his money with. His loyalty starts to wane. Because now he finally has the freedom that he's never experienced as a broke man. As a man who's broke and have his ride or die paying for everything. He has his own money. And you can't tell him what to do with his own money. He's stronger than you. He has his own brain. He has his own manhood that he's standing on now. Because you put him on, you pulled a plug or two for him to get on at a refinery or wherever he got on, or you helped him through college. You gave him a YouTube channel. You gave him access to the money he didn't have before. So now he's balling, and he's balling with the people who don't look like you. They probably look better than you. Probably had these BBLs that the society says is the beauty standard. And women go do it. A lot of Black women has done it to their detriment, to please a man. And I'm not going to shame people for having these procedures. But what happened to the old way? That's my question. Why can't you decenter men? Why can't you put yourself as a priority? But I'm so pleased. Because just because Tyler Perry said it, don't mean it's right. That don't mean it's right. That man that I dated 20 years ago has his mother taking out loans. She's doing everything she can to make it in this economy. She had to get a part-time job recently, I heard a few months ago. She had to get out of retirement to go back to work. Why? When your son is in your house with you. And I bet if she had gotten sick enough, he would just send her off to be taken care of by someone else. Because their loyalty does not lie with you. And they prove it all the time. And I could not believe that flew out of that man's mouth. Tyler Perry is a billionaire. off of Black women's reputations, our struggles, our hurt and our pain, our image, the Christian values that's so traditional in our community. Just to turn around and smile and tell us to keep our list. Keep it. Laughing, cute. And while he may have put people on, he's put people on his program to continue his hate train in his mind. I don't know what kind of unresolved issues he has, but he definitely has them. And Monique was able to call him out for it, but people thought she was being problematic. I'm going to tell you one thing in life I've learned. Watch the people who cause problems. Those might be the people you want to listen to for real. I'll say it again. Watch the people who cause problems, because those are the people you want to pay attention to. If you have people who are too easygoing, they suave, there's something that they're pertaining to an agenda on. There's something that they have to deal with. They're too busy to pay attention to other things because they're so focused on some one thing. For me, I think Tyler Perry is just focused on taming the Black woman. Do you hate us that much, Tyler? I tell you, I've done the program that you said to do. I am a Christian woman, but I can turn into whatever I need to turn into to protect my energy, which may be outside of a Christian realm. I can match energies. I've learned that in life. You don't let people use you like you're a rat, like you're a rag doll, like you're a mat. Don't let them feed you kibbles and bits and you giving them steak and potatoes. That's not going to happen. It's never going to happen with me. And because I bought a home in my older age, I wasn't a young homeowner, because I was trying to pair up with the Black man. I was trying to be a partner to a Black man. Now, am I saying all Black men? If it don't apply, let it fly, Black man, if you happen to hear this episode. But I'm here to tell you now, just because Tyler Perry said it, don't mean it's true, and it don't mean it's right. You can hope for the best woman in your life, no matter what race she is. She wants to be taken care of. Why should the Black woman be excluded from wanting the best in her life when we make up the majority of single motherhood in our communities? There's a lot of single mothers and a lot of races and a lot of cultures. But Black women, we do it and then we get blamed for everything. We get blamed for the destruction of the Black community, while the Black man gets to walk around with his one strike against him in American society. And that means the Black skin that you're wearing is your cross. That's just one. That's one cross to bear versus the two crosses we have to bear in American society. First, you're Black, and then you are a woman. You're nothing. You don't require nothing. You don't need nothing. Don't ask for nothing. Don't look for nothing. Don't be nothing. Because if you do, you're going to piss me off. That's the message I got, Tyler Perry. But that's some BS. And you can send it to your studio and do a play on it. Because Black women, you're going to have to revise those plays, sir. Because I'm tired of it. Get it together. Period. We're not putting up with it. I'm not putting up with it. There's no one going to come in this house and don't bring a house with them when they date me now. If you don't have a house, I got a house. You better have a house if you want to date me. And it got to come with all your bills in your name. It got to come without your mother living with you. Cool, you got kids. As long as you're taking care of your kids, as long as their future is secured. Because when you have kids, when Black women become or made single parents, they have their stuff together. A lot of these mothers. Not every Black woman is a good mother. And that's for every woman. Not every woman is the ideal woman. There are some women who are trifling as hell. But I'm talking about the good women who wants a decent man by their side and who requires them to have more. Traditionally, a man should be making more than a woman. But we have now where everything is twisted. Men, it's okay if you wear dresses and wigs. Do it. Live in your truth. But don't come to a real Black woman who wants a heterosexual man, who wants a life that's ideal for her and her requirements. I require to travel when I'm done working. I don't want to stay in my house and look at my four walls. I already live here. I've seen my four walls. I've cleaned my four walls. I know how they look. I don't need to paint them right now, so I'm not going to be busy painting walls. I can do other things. And if you can't meet me where I need you to meet me, you can just go on and dismiss yourself. It's as simple as that. I don't want to hear no more celebrities speaking on nothing because they're talking about nothing. They're bored. Go find something to do. Go build a community that's going to help people who are homeless or something like that, because you need to do something better than just talking and causing an uproar in the Black community. Now, you may not agree with what I'm saying, but I have a lived experience on what it is. When I was in my 30s, I had a man who worked those little jobs that you get paid daily on. He got paid $100 for every task, every job he went out on. That's great and all, but that's still a poverty income. At the end of the day, if I didn't work at the hospital and have benefits, I couldn't have pulled all this thousands of dollars I was pulling at the time to afford the rent house we were in. And rent wasn't even that high back then. It was like $9.75 rent. So it was my income that was paying it for us to be in that neighborhood. So when you talk, make sure you think before you speak, because I promise you, there have been, the reason why Black women are looked at the way they are today is because they gave men chances like this, because they took care of men. That's why Tyler Perry felt a need to talk about that. It would have never came out of his mouth talking to another culture, but he wants to just target Black women. I think it's sad that we cannot evolve and demand that a man does what he's supposed to do. You're the man. You're supposed to do it. And the man in my family, my brother who's a man for sure, he's going to answer the call. If mother calls you and she has an issue, you better answer that call. He know me. If mama calling me for an issue, I'll address it. But the one question I do ask her is, did you tell Charles? Did you tell him? Because everybody cares about my mother. She's a treasure. And we've seen her struggle. We've seen her do what Tyler Perry suggested. I've done it because I was taught to do it by my mother. A little piece of man is better than having no man at all, they say. That's not true. I'm almost 50 years old, and I'm not going to put up with it. I'm too old for that. I'm too old to work myself to the bone. I'm too old to not think with my brain that I got in my body. I'm too old for that. And I'm too tired. I can't expend too much energy I can't let my spirit stress out, my soul stress out over things anymore of this world. Somebody has to man up, and it's not going to be me because I'm a woman. I'm not a man. I want better. I want better for all women, not just black women, because we get this notion that everybody's doing so much better than black women. Not necessarily. If you're a single black woman, even if you're a mother, keep on being it until you find a man that matches your criteria. And if you want a man that's going to just pay your light bill, then God bless you. Because I hope when you're laying in your bed sick, that man that's paying your light bill can help you pay other bills when it's time. Or else you're going to be really, really hot, tired, and bothered laying on your sick bed. Or maybe you'll be alone. In which case, you might as well have been alone. And that's my commentary for now. I had to respond and react. I've been hearing so much about Tyler Perry topic. I want to give my take on it. If you agree, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to become a Phoenix and join the Phoenix community over here with Bossy, go ahead. I would love it. I would love it, love it, love it. I'm trying to grow on YouTube. I am definitely on Bigo as well. Bigo, the app. I will be going live periodically to discuss issues of the day concerning this. And I love feedback. Y'all have a very, very good day, a good productive day, a positive day, a day where people will not put their crazy antics, spirits, and attitudes on you. I hope the best for everybody who's listening today, and y'all have a very beautiful, beautiful day.